Imagine dealing with 56 million gallons of nuclear waste. The plan to clean it all up, and the challenges in protecting humans and the environment.
It was just the best feeling for him. And once that was gone, it was heartbreaking.
Stealing from kids, bold bike thieves targeting Hot Wheels in Pacific Beach, and the bait that helps police track them down. Just hanging out, juggling acrobatic feats, and so much more for San Diego Fringe. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. The San Diego City Attorney's Office is investigating who leaked a confidential memo to investors behind the SoccerCity initiative. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen has the story.
The confidential memo is supposed to be only for the mayor and city council members. It contains legal opinions on how the city could best negotiate the sale of the Qualcomm Stadium property. City Attorney Mara Elliott says whoever leaked the memo violated city ethics laws and the trust of San Diego taxpayers and should resign.
Putting out a 16-page confidential memo that's flagging potential issues and possible litigation is something that should have been kept within that very closed group of individuals who should have the best interest of San Diego at heart and not the best interest of a proponent of a citizens initiative.
The SoccerCity initiative would build a new soccer stadium on the Qualcomm property, along with hotels, office space, retail, and housing. It's going on the ballot in November 2018. City Councilman David Alvarez says the leak proves the SoccerCity initiative was not written with the public's interests at heart.
This memo is indicative of that whole entire process, secretive, backroom dealing, funneling and giving over information and documents in order for essentially a campaign to be successful for this initiative. And so I think that's problematic.
Nick Stone, the main investor behind the SoccerCity initiative, said he did not get the memo from a city employee and was unaware it was not meant to be made public. A mayoral spokesman said no one in the mayor's office was behind the leak, which he said never should have happened. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
The San Diego County District Attorney's Office says the police shooting last month of a Torrey Pines high school student was legally justified. The DA says the evidence showed the 15-year-old planned the incident that resulted in his death. He reportedly called police to the school and then pointed a pistol at them. The DA says the video from the police body cameras will not be released. Today, the University of California introduced new policies to respond to sexual misconduct by faculty and staff. Those changes will be in place at UC San Diego and system-wide by September 1st. The new procedures are designed to provide greater transparency, consistency, and timeliness, according to a UC statement. New rules include having investigations concluded within 60 business days and determining disciplinary action 40 days after that. Some 86 million people have pre-diabetes. That means they're much more likely to develop the disease, and 90% of people don't know they have it. But starting next year, Medicare plans to pay certified companies up to $450 for every overweight person they can get to lose a few pounds, which can delay or prevent the disease. Cheryl Clark from our media partner iNewsSource has more.
It's the first time Medicare will pay for such a program nationally, and 13 San Diego groups have applied. But the catch is participants have to lose a few pounds by year's end. The year-long course shows people how to change the way they eat, removing sugar and high-fat foods from their diet. That's a proven way to reduce progression to diabetes. Dr. Athena Samikas of Scripps hopes her program will help people break their bad habits, like driving when they could be walking. Preventing the disease is a much better solution than having to take diabetes drugs with their skyrocketing costs and side effects.
If you look at this from the standpoint of Medicare, if we could prevent the numbers of cases of diabetes that we're talking about, That would certainly lead to a tremendous drop in medication costs, in all sorts of costs, hospitalizations, myocardial infarctions, heart attacks, kidney disease, eye disease. All these things that happen and cost Medicare a lot of money over the next 5 to 10 to 20 years.
Eligible participants must be overweight and be diagnosed with prediabetes. The program is free. I'm Cheryl Clark with KPBS media partner iNewsSource, an independently funded nonprofit partner of KPBS.
On Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans are trying to salvage their bill that repeals most of President Obama's health care law. They're thinking about keeping the biggest tax increase he enacted. This is the 3.8% tax increase on investments by higher earners. This tax boost is expected to raise $172 billion over the next decade. They're also considering a proposal to let insurers offer policy with whatever premiums and benefits they'd like, as long as they also offer a plan providing all of the coverage under the Obama's law required. This week, people from across the nation showed up in Washington, sounding the alarm over GOP plans to roll back coverage from the Affordable Care Act. Reporter Lauren Baker shows us the voters demanding health care for all.
This is a fight for the people who can't be here right now, whose voices have to be heard. And
California Senator Kamala Harris is on board with better health care, and she's not alone. Whether you are rich or poor, good health care is life or death.
I want to protect the citizens who are not as fortunate as I am to have access to health care.
To some, health care is more than just a piece of legislation.
How is taking insurance away from a child? How does that help our country?
it is just patently wrong. It is against the values of who we are as a country. And we're going to have to fight against it, and it's a battle we can win.
For KPBS, I'm Lauren Baker from Washington, D.C.
It's an injury to all! United we stand!
Help is on the way for San Diegans who are struggling to pay their water bill. A new city program will provide low-income residents with a $100 credit on their bill once a year. The program is currently funded by donations from Service Line Warranties of America and Qualcomm, but the city is looking for more donors to keep the program going in the future. The city is hoping to help about 500 families per year. San Diego leaders are taking on bike theft. Today, they announced the expansion of the Pacific Beach Bait Bike program. While it's a citywide problem, program backers say PB is the hardest hit.
Nearly 3,000 bikes are stolen in San Diego every year, according to police. Janelle Scirocco says thieves have cut the locks and stolen 6 bikes from her family's home in PB.
It's the same as having someone break into your house or break into your yard. It's the same group of people that are doing that.
The mom, an avid rider, says not even her 6-year-old's bike was safe.
Heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken to have a child's possession. He had just learned 6 months ago how to ride without training wheels. I mean, it was just the best feeling for him. And once that was gone, it was heartbreaking.
Backers hope the Pacific Beach Bait Bike program will deter would-be thieves.
City leaders say if someone steals a bait bike, the chances of that thief being caught and prosecuted is 100%.
Since it launched in 2014, authorities have tracked down all of the stolen bait bikes, many at homeless encampments. Police have arrested 109 people for bike theft. 104 have been convicted. Program operators say the bait bikes, with the added GPS technology, are valued well over $950, which adds up to a felony.
A new proposed state bill would require routine inspections of all of the California dams. Lawmakers want to prevent situations like the Oroville spillway crisis in February. Officials would check all high-risk dams that could threaten nearby communities every year and lower-risk dams every 2 years.
We need to change the statute because right now it says that dams should be inspected, quote, from time to time. That's obviously not acceptable. So we want to make sure that there's routine inspection of dams in statute that's required. But more than that, we want to really get to the bottom of, what kind of inspections are we doing, and and trying to improve those inspections.
The failure at the Orville Dam earlier this year temporarily displaced 200,000 people. Environmental and fishing groups found challenges today to block Governor Jerry Brown's water tunnel project. The lawsuits contend the project would destroy endangered native fish species in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta. The lawsuits come just 3 days after the tunnel project won approval from 2 federal agencies who said the project would not threaten wildlife. The $16 billion project would bring water from northern to southern California. A federal plan to revive the nuclear waste dump at Nevada's Yucca Mountain is moving forward to a vote in the House. It's part of a bill to solve a nuclear waste management problem that has lasted for more than 3 decades. Sacramento Congresswoman Doris Matsui says it's important to remove nuclear waste stored at shuttered power plants, including San Onofre. One of the largest nuclear cleanup sites in the nation is in Washington State. Hanford has 56 million gallons of radioactive waste sitting in old underground tanks. In tonight's EarthFix report, McGregor Campbell takes a look at the plan to clean it all up.
This is a gallon, and this is nuclear waste, and this is 56 million gallons of nuclear waste. It's toxic, radioactive, and is sitting in old, leaky tanks just a few hours upriver from Portland. It's here at Hanford, where all that waste is polluting groundwater, which is seeping toward the Columbia River, and after more than 20 years and $19 billion spent, none of it has been treated. For decades, Hanford was America's plutonium factory. It was one of the original Manhattan Project sites, supplying the radioactive material at the heart of America's nuclear arsenal. Over the course of Hanford's military lifetime, it was home to 9 nuclear reactors used to irradiate uranium fuel rods, creating plutonium. That plutonium was then extracted with chemicals, processed, and shipped off to weapons factories. Each step of that process produced radioactive waste, some of it liquid, some of it solid, some of it somewhere in between. For decades, workers poured much of the liquid waste, hundreds of billions of gallons worth, into the ground. They dumped the rest, including solids and sludges, into underground tanks to be dealt with later. And now, it's later. A patch of contaminated groundwater the size of Seattle lies under the site, those old tanks are deteriorating, and the official plan to clean it all up has serious problems. The basic idea is to pump up and treat the groundwater, get the waste out of the tanks, and process it into glass logs. The first big problem is that radioactive waste can generate flammable gases, which can build up in the tanks and treatment facilities, and, if ignited, on top of that, some of the waste in the tanks still contains plutonium, which is heavy. And as the waste is moved around, the plutonium could settle out, clump together, and start an uncontrolled chain reaction. That might not be such a big deal if workers could monitor and step in to prevent the accident. But the treatment process, at least for the most hazardous wastes, has to happen in special rooms, called black cells, that are too radioactive for humans to enter. According to the official plan, the machinery in those black cells has to work smoothly for 40 years with no human intervention. If something goes wrong, there would be little workers could do to prevent hazardous waste from spreading around the site. But the cleanup has made some progress. The liquid waste in the oldest, leakiest tanks was transferred to newer tanks. And in 2015, workers treated 2 billion gallons of groundwater. But the vast majority of contaminated groundwater is still there, and they haven't even started treating the actual waste in the tanks. In fact, they haven't even finished building the treatment plants. Construction was supposed to be done by 2007. That slipped to 2011, then 2019, and recently the deadline was extended again to 2036 for the most dangerous waste. Humans have never cleaned up a mess quite like the waste at Hanford. And after years of delays, we don't know if the current plan will be up to the task. That means that without some breakthrough technology or new plan, those 56 million gallons of nuclear waste will likely continue to sit just hours upriver from Portland.
That story comes to us from EarthFix, an environmental reporting project made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. More than 5 months after the president signed his original travel ban, the revised version is set to go into effect tonight. The Supreme Court issued a partial green light earlier this week by allowing those with bona fide family or business ties to be allowed in. Now there's a new legal fight from the state of Hawaii. Hawaii filed an emergency motion today asking a federal judge to clarify that the administration cannot enforce a ban against fiancés or relatives not defined by the administration guidelines. Firefighters are battling a wildfire the size of nearly 700 football fields. Take a look at this. The fire burned through the Camp Pendleton Marine Corps base in San Clemente. It's about 70% contained. Officials say the high humidity levels helped bring the fire's pace to a crawl. Some 200 firefighters are helping nearby neighborhoods, but there are no evacuations. Grab those cardigans. More partially cloudy skies with temperatures slightly below average along the coast. Erin Calandra has tonight's forecast.
Well, it was another beautiful day here in San Diego, as usual. Let's take a look here at our radar and satellite. We really don't see any kind of precipitation here, and that's the same story really for much of California. It's pretty dry and still very hot. We don't have any red flag warnings to tell you about, but certainly our friends in Utah, Arizona, and Colorado are battling those red flag warnings there. So let's take a look here tonight. 62 degrees, that's our overnight low, becoming cloudy, and of course we'll see those clouds when we wake up in the morning, and then they're going to break off again in the afternoon. So a bit cloudier here along the coast, Oceanside, 61 degrees, San Diego 62, even a couple clouds inland here, Ramona 53 degrees, Borrego Springs nice and clear, 71, and Mount Laguna 55 degrees. Taking a look at our Friday, well, it's much like what we have seen here lately. Very hot conditions. We're still in the triple digits in the deserts like Phoenix and Las Vegas, closer to average temperatures, but still very warm. Along the coast here where we are, it is very pleasant. We have this cooler air coming in off the Pacific, which is keeping us very comfortable. So here in the morning, we're going to see a couple clouds here along the coast, 72 in Oceanside, Ramona 86, Borrego Springs still in triple digits, will be all week really, and in the mountains here, 80 degrees in Mount Laguna. Taking a look at this national map, well, it's a bit wet in the deep south all the way up to the northeast, but here along the west coast, everything is just beautiful. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures. If you're heading to the beach over the next couple of days, it's going to be a bit cool. We're right around 70 degrees in the lower 70s much of the week with temperatures, or excuse me, with lots of sunshine. As we move inland, it's going to be a bit warmer, of course. We're in the low 80s all week long with lots of sunshine. In the mountains, it's even warming up there. We are in the 80s, dropping down to 78 degrees on Sunday. So beautiful conditions. And as we take a look in the deserts, we are in the triple digits all week long. Make sure you're drinking lots of water and getting into the AC. For KPBS News, I'm Erin Calandra.
There may only be 4 more days of San Diego International Fringe Festival, but KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando says that's still plenty of time to catch some great shows.
San Diego Fringe is about cramming a lot into a short frame of time. That means artists have less than a half hour to move out one show and move in another. And that happens as much as 8 times a day at a single venue. That also means that people have a lot of shows to choose from every day of Fringe. But choice is both the blessing and the curse of Fringe. What to see when there's such diversity? Do you choose a one-man show exploring the idea of humanizing rather than demonizing sexual offenders and unredeemable?
We need to make it safe to talk about the type of thinking and behavior that could lead to sexual assault.
Or the true story of an American girl in Hitler's Germany in Eleanor.
Mother, why is listening to foreign broadcasts forbidden? Because we're not supposed to hear outside accounts of what's going on in the war. But who is the parent that talks? Eleanor! Those posters are trying to discourage people from giving information to Germany's enemy.
Or the breezy physical comedy of Bow and Arrow, Crash Landing. There's also a striking contrast of styles to be found at Fringe, ranging from the meticulously crafted and executed artistry of Echoes of Gallows Hill to the manic and outrageous chaos of Japan's Are You Lovin' It? Even within in the same topic you find diversity. Take mental illness. Untold uses the words of real people to explore the many faces of mental illness.
Actually, it's not drinking. That part is easy. It's dealing with the mess that is you that is hard.
But then Lighthouse Circus takes a very different approach to the same idea.
I started this company. I lost my boyfriend to suicide in 2014, and I have a background in psychology, and I love circus art, so I wanted to find a way to combine them and to bring hope to people struggling with mental illness. And so that's why we entered Fringe and Lighthouse Circus Theater. That's in the mission of our company, is to bring hope to people struggling with mental illness and to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental illness. We do that through circus.
Circus with a social conscience is also on display in the Circus Collective of San Diego's Specific Gravity.
Our show is called Specific Gravity, and it's basically we're telling the stories of refugees through the art of circus and spoken word, and we're hoping that we can just humanize refugees and show empathy towards them and make people realize that, they're just like all of us and they just want to live just like we do.
And finally, here's a company that captures the do-it-yourself spirit of Fringe.
Hello, zombie girl. What's the deal? You're creepy and you're freaky.
I'm Summer Blanco, and this is Shane Ruddock Allen, and we are part of Turning Tides Theater Company, and we're presenting Into the Walker Woods at the Lyceum during the Fringe Festival. And it is a mashup of The Walking Dead and Into the Woods.
It combines the best parts of each property, the most hilarious things about The Walking Dead. Believe me, there's some real humor there.
Our survivors have a pretty cushy little setup. They are well fed and well protected. And you know what that means? Something horrible is about to happen.
It's got great references for the hardcore fans, gaggle of laughs and fun and gore and props and action for all the people who just want to come see a really hilarious musical theater comedy.
So no matter what your tastes are, Fringe has something to satisfy your palate. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
San Diego International Fringe Festival continues through Sunday at more than 24 venues. We've posted a link at kpbs.org. A new art exhibition in Washington, D.C. puts a face to those who've been detained and exiled. Ai Weiwei is the man behind Trace. It's a series of Lego portraits of activists and political prisoners from around the world. He created the series while under house arrest in China. Now he has his passport back. NPR producers showed the artist getting his first look at Trace inside a gallery setting.
This is the first time I see this. Surprising, very well done, This is a work we made for Hershon, and I love it. The piece is about the freedom of speech. It's about civilian cameras and Twitter birds under the fight with freedom of speech. So, Legos is a toy kids like to play with. My son also started to play with Legos. He's 5-6 years old. So I start to borrow my son's Lego to construct some images. Unfortunately, we have a lot of political prisoners. They lost their freedom because they love freedom. They love freedom for other people and they love the freedom for their nation. I come out with the idea to present those prisoners. I want the image to be seen, and to create the image we need a language. So Lego, I think, is easiest language. We cannot take freedom as granted, but rather to understand people paid their duty and their life. I think to have a show like this, to make people understand, to stay with those most important values relating to human rights, human dignity, and it's very important.
It was tricky to get supplies for this work while the artist was under house arrest, so a friend ended up making multiple trips from the U.S. with suitcases full of Legos. Memories of War in Their Own Words, a campaign to collect and preserve 1 million letters penned by servicemen and women, arrived in San Diego today. Historian Andrew Carroll is leading the way. He wants to collect war-related correspondence from every conflict in U.S. history. He has a handwritten letter from 1775, the American Revolution, another one from World War II. It has a bullet hole and fire burns after the author on the front lines was shot.
This is another letter we have that was written inside of a ship at Pearl Harbor. So this is a sailor who was describing to his sister at 9:05 a.m. Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, what it was like to be at Pearl Harbor as the bombs were falling. Now, obviously he survived, which is why we have the letter.
The letter collection starts next Wednesday at the San Diego Office of Education. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.